Hi, welcome to Audio Tips from a Pro. I'm Neil Kesterson. I've been a professional audio engineer for 40 years and I've learned a thing or two. I'd like to pass on some of my knowledge to you so that your soundtracks can shine. Let's talk about listening. The most important tool you can have as an audio engineer is a pair of ears. You must listen without haste to every element of your production. You must evaluate each sound to make sure there is no noise, distortion, or other problem that will ruin an otherwise good recording or live mix. You must also listen to content. Are the notes right? Is it in tune? Are the words right? But we can often be distracted or pressured for time. Don't make the mistake of doing cursory checks of inputs or mixdowns because it will come back and bite you later. Something that's happened more than once in my career is to fix a recording that wasn't listened to. One I remember without fondness was a videotape press conference. The camera operator plugged the line feed from the press distribution box into his audio inputs on his camera, checked that the meter was moving, and hit record. The problem? The feed was a line output and his camera was set to receive a microphone input. There was distortion beyond belief because the two levels weren't matched. This is more common than you think. It's hard to fathom how a camera operator can look into a viewfinder to make sure that video is being recorded, but not put on a pair of headphones to make sure that the audio is too low. When you're on a location that requires feeding your audio mixer to a camera, make sure the camera operator is wearing headphones at all times. Another similar thing happened, but this time the camera was set to line input with a microphone plugged into it. The level was way too low. The team not only failed to listen, but didn't even check the meter. Wow. When you're mixing a song, program, commercial, audiobook, or other project, listen all the way through in real time before mixing down to an audio file. If you've fully tested that workflow on that computer and software numerous times, you can spot check the final file afterwards. But if it's relatively short, like 5 minutes or under, just listen to the whole audio file back in real time to make sure there are no glitches or mistakes. Several times in my career, I've rushed out long format mixes that ended up having errors in the audio file. Some of these were digital glitches, some had audio clips that shifted on the timeline somehow, some had editing errors, and some contained wrong content that had been revised but didn't make it into this version. Mistakes happen. We're human. But had I listened back in real time before mixing down, I could have saved the time it took to fix my stupid mistake. You will have this happen to you more than once. But by making listening back a habit, it will reduce how many times you have to slap your forehead and go, "Duh." Another important way to listen is to check your mixes on various speakers and formats. I have 5 speakers systems here in my control room. My main pair are medium-sized two-way speakers. I chain a subwoofer to these for some bottom-end clarity. My second set is a pair of big 3-ways that sound like really nice home speakers. My third set is a pair of small 5-inch square box monitors that have only one speaker to mimic laptops and radios. My room rounds out with additional rear and center speakers for surround mixes and a little wedge-shaped speaker for queuing up phone and internet calls. Hearing your mixes on different speaker systems is a great way to make sure your mix will translate to other sound systems. When you're learning a new room, console, or monitor speakers, take your mix home with you. Listen to it in your car, play it on your home stereo, listen on your smartphone with earbuds, and listen over an Alexa. Any different way you can hear your mix will help you fine-tune how all the layers fit together. Another trick is to turn down your monitors just a click above off. Have them so low that you can only hear the vocals or lead instrument. If you can understand every word or lead note without it being sucked down into the lower layers, then you're on your way to a good mix. Another technique is to try to start your mix playing over the speakers, leave the control room, shut the door tightly, and listen outside of the door. If you can hear the important parts, then your mix should translate to other speaker systems. If you're learning how to mix radio commercials or music with vocals, put a track of traffic sound effects in your project's timeline. Turn it up pretty high and mix your spot so that the voice comes out just over the car noise. Now mute that traffic track and listen. What you were just doing was simulating, to extreme for sure, how your mix would be heard inside a car. You can also use this technique for arena and stadium mixes by adding cheering and crowd underneath, truck pulls by adding loud mufflers and hot rods, and bars with rowdy crowd sounds. Thanks for watching. Have a question or want to suggest a topic? Email me at info@dxaudio.com. I'm the owner of Dynamics Productions in Lexington, Kentucky. Visit my studio website at dxaudio.com. I wrote a book called Push the Right Buttons, a practical guide to becoming and succeeding as an audio engineer and producer. Get a copy or listen to the audiobook at dxaudio.com/book or at most online retailers like Amazon, Audible, Barnes & Noble, Spark, Ngram, and Google Play.